Welcome to the Coach Eric Williams Jaguar Nation show. This is your host, Jeff Breedlove, and we are live with Coach Eric Williams, coming to you in the second week of the state playoffs after a historic night last Saturday night at Grady Stadium, where your Maynard Jackson Jaguars won their first playoff game in the history of the school, and it was our first home playoff game. Coach, tell us all about that historic night.
Well, it was a historical moment and a great accomplishment for our school, for our community, and it was just so satisfying for us to go out and pull out that victory on last Saturday night.
Well, Coach, it was a big win. It set us up here for this week's big game on Friday night. It's an away game. We're traveling up into North Gwinnett County to play the Buford Wolves.
Yes, and Buford is a storied program here in the state of Georgia. I think they have like about 14 state championships, and once again, it's going to be a tough game, and we just have to go out there and stay consistent with what we do and go out there and give them a fight.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you, after our practice last Friday, I went up there and watched them play Paulding, and it's a nice facility, and they're, I'm sure, great fans and all that. But I believe after watching that game that, if there's going to be an upset in this year's playoffs, that it very well may be our game.
Well, we're going to go up there and give it our best effort. I know the odds are against us, but together, as a team, we all believe in each other, and we all believe in what we are capable of pulling off Friday night.
I've been thinking about that, Coach. All these prognosticators who we get it that we're the underdogs. But what these polls don't measure is heart.
You're exactly right. And I kind of relish in being the underdog because, you can go out there and be relaxed. You can go out there and be carefree. You can just leave it all on the table. And you don't have to worry about anything. You're not the favorite. So, if the underdog is playing you close, you don't have to worry about them getting tight in the game. Our kids are going to be carefree and loose.
And one last thought for now, we'll come back to it later, but I saw all those state championship trophies. I'll tell you, they make sure the fans can see it when they come in the stadium. There had to be a time that it was their first time too. It's the first time for every great dynasty, and I do believe this year is laying the foundation for great things for Jaguar Nation.
Yes, sir, I totally agree with you. You just keep getting the kids in and getting the kids bigger, faster, and stronger, and just going out there and competing at a high level.
Well, let's go back and talk about the highlights of our victory over the Miller Grove Wolverines. It was a great football game. It was hard fought in the trenches. It was a 14-0 Jaguar victory. And as I recall, Coach, tell me if I'm wrong, but that would be our second shutout in a row, and I think our third this year.
Yes, it was our second shutout in a row and our third shutout in the last 4 games. Our defense, under the guidance of Coach David Johnson, have been playing tremendous football, and we're very proud of them.
I think it's just not a Jaguar Nation show if we don't talk about the Flash, number 4, Hassan Hall. Tell us a little bit about his game, Coach.
Flash had an outstanding game. It was, once again, we kind of celebrated that first playoff night as senior night because in all actuality, I think it's our last home game. Because we'll be the road warriors for the rest of the way in the playoffs, all the way to the state championship. But Flash had an outstanding game. He scored the first touchdown on a 28-yard run, and he was just absolutely amazing getting around that corner.
Well, I'll tell you, I know those fans in Louisville. I've got some friends up there. They're going to be enjoying that football when he brings it up there next year.
Yes, they are.
So Charles Daniels, number 13, tell us what he did scoring-wise.
Well, Charles, our starting quarterback, Roderick Hammond, got hurt, and Charles came in, cool as the other side of the pillow, came in and led us down the field on a big pass to our stud receiver, Marquise Cozy, and once we got that ball down inside the 5-yard line, Charles had a nice 3-yard run for a touchdown to put us up 14-0.
Always good to see that quarterback keeper happen. That's a mark of a good team.
Yes.
So some more offensive highlights. Tell us a little bit about Rashad Jordan's game.
Rashad Jordan. Yes, we kind of knew that we had to feature Rashad Jordan a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball, and we gave him a couple of jet sweeps, and he did a great job with that. And he also made a couple of big catches on 4th down for us.
And Justin Bronson, number 9. Tell us about him.
Those two guys are our leaders that they're our junior players, and they're gonna lead us into the future. And they stepped up big for us on the offensive side of the ball on last Friday night,
and then,
Saturday night.
Thank you, Coach. And then DeMonte Cosby, number 32.
DeMonte, when Flash was busy playing defense, we know we had to spell him a little bit, so DeMonte Cosby came in and had a couple of great runs for us. He played a great game.
Well, as we segue over to defense, Coach, I think it'd be fair to say if we were giving out an MVP, we'd have given that to Marquise Colsey. Tell us about his efforts, both offensively and defensively.
Marquise was, like I said, he was our spark plug and our catalyst, and we always tell the kids, big-time players make big-time plays. He started his scoring off with a interception return of about 30, 40 yards, and once we got down into striking distance, Hassan scored on the very next play, and then for our second score, it was set up, I think it was 4th and 11 or 3rd and 11, and Charles threw that ball up to Marquise, and Marquise ran a great route and made a great reception, catching the ball down to the 3-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marquise is just playing lights out right now.
Yes, he is. And he also had a couple of big tackles in that game as well.
Well, let's shift over to that defense. And I got to tell you, I really do believe we're becoming known. I think about the old Chicago Bears, known for defense, Pittsburgh Steelers, known for defense back in our day, Coach.
Right.
I think we're getting a reputation as a solid defensive team.
And that's what I want to place the emphasis on. I love the offensive side of the ball, but defense wins championships. And if we can get our guys playing with that mind, that lights out mentality of going out there and shutting people out and getting a high turnover ratio, that's what leads to victories.
Well, there's no question about it. And there's just no doubt that the defense is as strong as it's been in the past 3 seasons that I've been watching Jaguar football.
Yes, sir. We're extremely strong this year.
And I think the thing that excites me the most is we're going to lead off our highlights this week with a freshman sensation. Chris, a newbie, second time we're calling his number 56. Tell us about his game this past week.
Chris had an outstanding job playing a little nose guard for us. He's been a pleasant surprise over the past couple of weeks. He's been out there and setting a good tone and being very destructive up front on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we need that destructiveness, and it's awesome that he's a freshman, and just great to be able to call his number out twice in a row, and we're looking for big things from him as we move forward.
Yes, sir, we are.
Now, I want to talk about the backfield. We got Tanelia Stinson, number 21, Rashad Jordan, number 5. We've got DeQuantus Watts, number 14, and of course Hassan is back there, the flash all over the backfield. This unit, they played very well against Miller Grove.
Yes, and Coach Johnson sets the tone with what he expects to do on the defensive side of the ball, and our guys just go out and respond in a great way. I really think we have one of the top secondaries in all of 5A football.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think the Buford Wolves are about to find out how good they are.
Yes, sir.
Now, not to be outdone and not to be forgotten, our linebacking core getting really, really ugly and stingy in a good way for us in the middle there, led by Lentavius Tucker, number 44.
Yes, sir. Lentavius Tucker, that's our general on defense. He sets the tone as far as making sure everything is balanced as far as the formations and everything. And he stepped in. He gives us a very good effort every week, and he's becoming one of our leaders of the defense.
Well, Coach, that that game was 14-0, and I don't think that it set any records in terms of scoring in the history of Georgia high school football, but it was a solid game. I think there was, Miller Grove doesn't have a long playoff history. Maynard Jackson doesn't have a long playoff history, and both teams rose to the occasion, played solid football. And we were fortunate to come out on top. It was a good football game this week. Yes,
sir. I really think it was a good football game as well. And as I reviewed the film and went back and played some plays over in my head, I could see where we could have easily put them away, but we made mistakes, And the good thing I can say about our team now, we overcome mistakes, and that's the sign of a good team. Instead of kids getting down on themselves and things going the other way, we just regroup and we keep pushing. We keep pushing and we keep pushing. And that's the marking of a good team.
That is the marking of a good team. And two quick observations about that. You know, when Roderick went down, Charles stepped right in.
Right.
That's on the field leadership. But sometimes I don't know that you see everything that happens on the sideline, of course. And there's at least one occasion in this game, and I'm not going to call his name out, where one of our players made a mistake on the field, mental mistake, led to a penalty. And the whole time while you're over there coaching, your support coaches and some of his teammates are over there reminding him what a leader is, reminding him to put that behind him, reminding him to learn from it. And I was standing right there, and I was going, this is what a football team does that wants to win a game.
That's right. You have to always have each other back and pick each other up. And it's all about being a brotherhood and having a cohesive unit.
And that has arrived here. And that was not always the case, to be blunt, for everybody here. But it's here now, and I think it's here to stay.
Yes, it is.
So I think we're at Category 5, don't you think, Coach?
Yes, sir. Category 5. Getting ready to roll up into Buford.
Now, I have no earthly idea what's going to happen on Friday night, 7 o'clock in Buford. I just know everybody thinks we're going to lose that game. But I know I believe. And I know these players believe. And I know their coaches believe. And I'll tell you what, I think that Category 5 Hurricane is coming into Buford. And when they're done, they're going to know they've played the Jaguars.
That's right. That's right. I totally agree with you, Coach. We are going to go up there and we're going to play an outstanding game. I think our kids are going to be carefree. And it's a chance to put our brand out there to let people know in the state of Georgia how good a football team Maynard Jackson is.
Absolutely. So listen, Jaguar Nation. I made that drive last Friday night. I made it late after our practice. You can get to that game by 7 o'clock when you get off work. And you need to get up on 85 North, hit on 985 North, and get to that Buford High School. You need to wear something that's maroon or black or gray and gold. But you need to come out and cheer these young men on. They have earned the right to have the support of Jaguar Nation.
You're absolutely right. And we had a tremendous crowd and a tremendous atmosphere last Saturday night. And we need you all to come out and be very supportive, be very loud, and just get a feel of what high school football is like in Georgia during the playoffs. It's a great environment.
It's going to be a great environment. It's interesting, real quick here as we wrap up the show. They play on a grass field. We've played on one grass field this year in East Coweta. So it's going to be a little bit different field itself, literally. It's a nice facility up there. And these young men need to turn around and look behind them in those stands and see that Jaguar Nation's behind them. That's
right, and that makes a big difference in a ball game. We got a crowd behind us, people who are actually watching us and know us. That motivates these players and make them play to the best of their abilities.
And if you absolutely positively can't make it, you need to get on your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter during the game. Coach Williams will be bringing you comments right before the game. Maybe we can pry one out of him at halftime, and he'll certainly check into you after the game. We guarantee you the before and after part. But you need to be checking in. You need to be sending those vibes on social media if you're not there in person. These young men are the most. Look, I got to say, I think they're the hottest team of football in Georgia.